Okay, so how's everybody doing today? I gotta figure out. I guess I'll just hold the phone like this because I'm trying to figure out where I can do it without. Because my son has his friend over. Let me shut my door. There we go. Okay, so Ashley's going to join us here in a second. I am going to share this video on all my other social medias. If y'all will do the same and help me out, that would be awesome. There we go. Okay. I got to pay attention to see when she's going to come on because I'm on my husband's phone. Okay. So Ashley's going to come share her story. I told y'all we would have, multiple people come on tonight. So I think or this week. So I think this is going to be a great week for everybody to have some content about recovery from addiction. I'm excited to hear her story because I don't really know all of it. So I know her from TikTok, and she had reached out to me and said she would be willing to come tell her story. So I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. How's everybody's day going today? How's your Thursday? Are you excited for tomorrow, Friday, right? I did my makeup today with those e.l.f. Halo Glow wands. My husband brought them home today on his lunch break, and we tested those out. But I didn't get to test them out that good on that live, so we're going to probably do it again tomorrow if y'all don't mind. But help me out. Let's share this video, like the video, and invite your friends. Share the video, like the video, and invite your friends. I am putting this link in here. .com/Nicole. All right, cool. Hey, Allie. Hey, Megan. What's up, girl? Hey, Pixie. Hey, Donna. I'm glad y'all are here. Oh, don't be telling me now. It thought I said Bixby on my phone, so it was like picking up my voice. How did you guys like Natalie's story the other day? She did really good, huh? I got hooked up with those supplements too that she's taking, you guys. So I'm going to try them out and let you know what I think about them. You can get them though. I linked them. What she was talking about, that happy juice that she was talking about, I linked it underneath that video that me and Natalie did together in the comment section. So you could, if you wanted like see what she thought about them and check it out, you can. And I'll let you know what I think too. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Jessica. What's up, girl? I won't be able to see the comments from Facebook, but I'm glad you guys are in here if you are, for real. Let me see if I can go on my other phone and see those. Yeah, I can, actually. Okay, cool. I'll just mute myself. So there's 2 people over here on Facebook, so good deal. Hey, guys. Come on in. All right, cool. We got 2 minutes till 6 o'clock, and then we're rolling. Put that all the way up. I cannot wait to get a real tan this summer. Tan because I use those contour things, but I'm really not this tan. I'm really white. Yeah. The other day I made a reference to the Sippy Sippy, and y'all knew what I did. Pixie, you were like, I know who that is. That's a Graveyard Girl. I had just got done watching one of her videos where she's like, does this thing really work? And she was like testing a whole bunch of stuff out, and she had her like sweet tea there. And so I fucking like had it in my mind, you know what I mean, to do it. Hey, Michelle, what's up, girl? I see you. Yeah, I can see y'all's comments. I can see, oh no, I can see the Facebook comments too because I just seen my own comment. I like her too. She's cool. She's different. That's why I like her. Oh, I can see your comments, Michelle. Good. Good. I can see Facebook and I can see YouTube comments. So awesome. was actually over in the aisle on Walmart where they had like the as seen on TV stuff, and like I think she like has done a lot of that stuff in that area, you know, and it's super interesting. I was telling my husband the other day, summer's coming up and he works outside, and his car that he drives in, his work truck, is like really, really hot. And I was like, you need to buy one of those portable air conditions and see how it works, because it's hot here during the summer. Okay, Ashley, I'm bringing you on, girl. Let's do this. Hey, woman.
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Am I echoing or anything, you guys?
No.
I'm sorry. I'm going to ask the people in the comment section because they're good about letting me know. So that way we sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's do it like that so everybody can see you close up. Okay, good deal. Everybody's here. Okay, Ashley, this is the plan. First of all, let me tell you what my dumb butt did the other day. So I'm texting her. I'm like asking her if she's ready, calling her someone else's name, like totally freaking out, thinking, why is she telling me she doesn't know me? I know her. She wants to come on the channel and tell her story. And then I scrolled up to the top of our conversation, and I was like, this is because you're calling her another person's name, you idiot. How stupid could I freaking be? I'm so sorry.
I was so lost. Like,
she goes, I do not know who you are.
I was so lost. I was like, okay, this got to be like one of them scammer things, you know? Well.
But Ashley, I love you for being so cool and coming on here and sharing your story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself so that way you can talk and everybody can hear you. But if I have a question or anything like that, like I'll butt in and ask you. You know, that's how I do it. What I would like for you to do is share with everybody what it was like when you were growing up, kind of like why you became addicted to drugs, what happened, what it was like during your addiction, and then how you got sober. And that's really all. And I'm going to be quiet so you can do all that, okay?
Okay. So I grew up with two brothers, two sisters. They were, you know, step family. My real dad really wasn't he wasn't around when I was younger. He was a truck driver, and he just chose, you know, not to be in our life at all. So my stepdad came in, you know, and he took the role as a dad. And I grew up pretty good. My childhood really wasn't that rough. It wasn't until like my teenage years where it got pretty bad. I was, you know, it's kind of hard for me to talk about, but, you know, I was sexually abused, and my addiction didn't start right there. It started a little after. I met my child's dad when I was 14 years old, and he was a real bad alcoholic and took Xanaxes and all that stuff, and he introduced me to that kind of life. So I started taking Xanaxes on a daily, you know, drinking, partying, and all that. And I found out I was pregnant with my son when I was 17. So we moved in together, and I gave him the choice, you know, to stop drinking. It was me and him and the baby, or, you know, he had to leave. And of course he chose to leave. You know, so I was a single mom doing it by myself. I started stripping at the age of 18. I live in Birmingham, Alabama, so I worked at Sammy's for a long time. And then I was introduced to cocaine, you know.
Yeah.
Industry and stuff like that. And I ended up quitting. They closed down, so I ended up for a little while, and I ended up quitting there, and I don't know what happened, but I ended up missing my baby daddy, so I went back, and I got pregnant the first night I was back. So it was like a one-night stand thing, and I got pregnant again. And
yeah, that's crazy. Like y'all were fertile together or whatever, you know what I mean? Can I ask you one question, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but like, because of the trauma of you being abused when you were younger, that like, could you tell your mom and dad about it? Could you tell your mom about it? Or were you afraid to tell her and you didn't, and you stuffed it down inside? So then when you got old enough, you started using substances to kind of make that feeling go away. Is that what happened? Or did you tell your mom and she didn't believe you? Like, what happened?
Well, it was a family member who did it, and when I went to my mother and told her, she didn't believe me about it, and she kicked me out of the house. So, and me and my mom had a really, really close relationship. So when that happened, it tore me apart that she didn't believe me about it, you know.
Right, for
Uh,
sure.
and like I said, my I love my mom to death. She's been sober 15 years, you know, thank God. But she was real bad addicted to opiates at the time. So it was like
Okay.
her supplier, you know, he bought them for her. So I guess she didn't want to get rid of that part, you know. But no, she did not believe me. Um, she didn't believe me at all. So that kind of that kind of stuck with me. You know, I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why she didn't, you know, believe me. Why that was my mother. You know. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that was real traumatizing for me. You know. But I guess I just masked it all down at the time. So it was kind of it didn't come out to my later years, you know, when I started using drugs and but we'll get into all that. So, but I got pregnant with my son and I was going to give Daniel another chance and he got drunk one night and pushed me down the stairs, a flight of stairs. And I almost lost my second son. So I said, you know, we can't do this anymore. So I ended up leaving. And I went back to stripping and I was drinking pregnant, you know, and when I was about 6 months pregnant, I don't know what happened, but something hit me, and I was like, "What are you doing? You know, you're pregnant. You know, you can't be doing this to that baby." Thank God he was born healthy. You know, nothing was wrong with him. He was good. So I finally just got away from that altogether. And you know, I'm trying to. There's so much right here to unpack. So just bear with me if I'm like, you know, because
No,
this is
you're doing fine. You're
my
doing fine. Don't even trip, okay?
story.
Like we're laid back around here, okay? We understand. We've all been where you've been, where nobody's gonna judge you, nobody's gonna say shit about you, nobody's gonna comment nothing nasty. If they do, they'll get thrown out. Like you don't have to worry about nothing like that, okay?
Yeah, this is my first time openly telling my story, you know, but if I can reach just one person and it can help somebody, you know, that's what I want. That's my goal, you know, and it's also healing. I was told it was healing to get it out, you know, because I've kept so much down inside, you know, and it's tore me apart, and I just don't want to do that. Anyway, so um, yeah, I got pregnant with my son, my second son, and I had him, and you know, my mom, she come around about that time when I found out I was pregnant with my second son, you know, and all she did was tell me she was sorry. You know, we kind of didn't talk about it or nothing. I was just glad that I had my mom back, you know, and I am very codependent. I'm trying to work on that now, but my mom, when I growing up, she never made me do anything. You know, she always done it for me. So it was like, I guess that's where the codependency come in, you know. And then I felt so much void, so I looked in it in men. You know what I'm saying? Um, I met
Yeah,
this
I know what you're saying, girl. Don't worry.
stuff,
I did the same thing.
yeah, and it's crazy because all the men that I've been with, except this last one, you know, I don't know. There's something different about him. You know, it's just. But all the men that I've been with, they were bad for me, and I always thought, no, they're not. Everybody could see it, but me. You know, I had like that blindfold on. But I met this guy, and when I was about I'm sorry, let's back up. I met this guy when I was about 8 months pregnant with my second son, and we started talking or whatever, and you know, I kind of attached myself to him in a lot of ways. Um, you know, because he was that void for the father not being there, you know, and everything that was going on. And that was the wrong thing to do. Let me just clarify that now because it was a disaster relationship. We was together 4 years. I did not know when we got together that he was on drugs. Like I knew about that lifestyle. Like I said, I took Xanaxes and drank everything, but I didn't know about the heavy stuff. You know, like crack and cocaine and stuff like that. Until I got with him. You know, I found out he had been doing it behind my back. You know, he would promise he wouldn't do it again. I'd take him back. You know, it was like that on and off. And unfortunately, I got pregnant with my third son with him. And
You are fertile Myrtle, girl. Fertile fucking Myrtle. Like I have been with I don't want to say because my husband's in another room, but like I never got pregnant. My husband and me get together a year and a half, I'm pregnant. And that's it. I've had one kid. But like I meet so many girls that are just like you who they're like they just get pregnant just like that. You know what I mean?
I was like, oh my God, man, because when I got pregnant with my third son, I was like, look, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately,
Yeah.
not. But I was like, this is it, you know. But when I had my son Drake, mine and Charlie's relationship, like I said, was rocky. You know, it was on and off with the drugs and stuff. I would take him back. Finally, he got sober, you know, and we got our first house together. I found out I was pregnant with our son, and when I had Drake, he was a big baby. He was like 10 pounds, 23 inches long. Okay, he was pretty big, and they gave me Percocet, and I knew not to do it because my mom's history, my mom's family's history, but I did it, and that was all she wrote with the Percocet. I was taking them daily. I was trying to find them on a daily basis. I had this one girl that I was getting from all the time, Percocet and Lortab, and one day she come to me and she said, you know, I'm out of the Percocet, but I have the methadone pills. And I was like, okay. And listen, before this go, I am all format. I'm on Suboxone. I've been on methadone as well. So I'm not saying anything bad about it. This is just me.
I was the same way. In active addiction, I've used methadone pills and wafers. So I understand. Go ahead. You're fine.
So I started taking methadone, and my sister came to me, you know, and she was like, hey, look, you can go to the clinic, Medicaid pays for it, blah, blah, blah. So I saw that, well, hell, it's free drugs, you know, so let me do that. And I got myself all the way up to 130 milligrams, you know, and I was abusing it. I'm not going to say I wasn't. And I found out this is where the story gets really, really emotional. At this time, this was 2011, 2012. So, like, the MAP program was not big at the time. You know, it was, like, heard of a little bit, but it was just now kind of surfacing, like, with the Suboxone and stuff like that. But I got pregnant with our little girl, and I was so excited because, you know, I had 3 boys. I wanted a girl. When I got pregnant with her, we were homeless at the time. We were living from place to place to place. But, you know, Charlie was working pretty good. You know, I was working, I was waitressing. So we saved up all our money and got us an apartment. We went to the doctor, and they draw your blood when you're pregnant for like the quad screens, like the genetic disorders and stuff like that. And they told me they would call me if, you know, anything was wrong. Well, I never heard for a call, so I assumed nothing was wrong. So we go in for my first ultrasound to find out what the sex of the baby is. And they get us in there and they tell us she's a girl. And I was so happy. You know, I was scared because I was on the methadone, but I talked to my doctor about it, you know, and he told me, you know, there could be small withdrawals. You know, he told me that it was okay. But they also come back in and said, do you know why the other reason you're here? And I said, no. They was like, well, one of your genetic markers come back positive for birth defects. And I've never openly talked about this on here. So if I cry, I'm so sorry, y'all. This is just really, really emotional for me. But they got us in a room and they explained the 3 different genetic disorders. There was trisomy 13, which is like the baby's insides are kind of messed up. There's trisomy 18, which is the inside, but they normally don't survive past birth, or they die, you know, before you get to 9 months. And then there's trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome. Well, they told me that she had trisomy 18. At this point, I think I was like almost 5 months pregnant with her, and they told me that I could go to Atlanta to have an abortion or carry the pregnancy. And I told them I was going to carry the pregnancy, you know. And so they done a test on me. It's the amniocentesis test where they stick a needle about, you know, this long in your belly and draw some fluid out to see if, to make sure it's like 99.9% accurate, you know. And they told me they would call me. And like 2 weeks later, I was standing outside, and they called and they told me, you know, that it was positive, that she did have trisomy 18. So, they told me everything to experience, like with the birth, that she might be stillborn, this and this. She had tiny cyst on her brain. The main chamber to her heart wasn't formed all the way. And, of course, I blame myself because I was on the methadone at the time. So I was like, this is my fault. I knew I shouldn't have did it. This and this and this, and the doctors tried to tell me that it happened at conception. It was nothing.
Yeah, that was your genetics. Like you carried that mutation or whatever it's called,
Yeah. So, but me, I blame myself for it, and so I would sing this song to her, like in my belly. It was "Patience" by Guns N' Roses. I don't know if anybody knows that song, but I would sing it to her every night. And the day that I went to have her, it come on the radio. So I go in to have her, and of course, like when they put the heart monitors on you and stuff like that, they had that on me, but they didn't have it. They had it all the way down, so I couldn't hear it, just in case her heart went down or whatever. Well, they broke my water, and like 15 minutes after they broke my water, I had her, and she was stillborn. And so that hit me harder than anything, because having to, not only did they leave her in the room with me for 2 days, in my mind, I was like, she's still here. I see her breathing, you know what I mean? But she wasn't. And, like, when I had to leave her there, it was the hardest thing that I ever had to do in my life. Like, leaving her there and going home, I didn't get the happy ending, taking a baby girl home, like most people do. So that's when the addiction really started. I got back into Xanaxes. I got back. They gave me Ativan. I was abusing them. I was taking the methadone, and when I buried her, they literally had to pull me off her grave, because I couldn't do it. It was so hard, Well, fast forward to 2013. That was 2012 when I had her, at the end of September 10th, 2012. Well, going into 2013, we, at this point, we done lost our house because of the pills. We are living in a hotel with my boys and him. And at the time, all this was normal to me. Like, this is the way I've lived. So on the outside, everybody's like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But to me, my boys got a roof over their head. They got food in their mouth. This is normal, whatever. It was not normal. It was not normal to raise children like that in that environment. And I will say that, we ended up taking a trip to Florida. And it was me, my sister's husband, Charlie, and my children and her children. My sister was also in active addiction and 7 months pregnant. She was doing heroin and coke. So I called myself helping her. You know what I mean? When I couldn't help. So we go to Florida and we stay down there for 2 days. And on the way back, we run out of gas, unfortunately. And we're there about 10 minutes and the police come rolling up. Well, I was unaware that my sister's husband had rigs on him. So he threw them in the car.
That dirty, low-down sucker.
No, that's not even half of it, girl. So they threw him in the car. And, the police asked if they could search the car. Well, I'm like, sure. I have my box of methadone. It's locked. What? I gave them permission because, hell, I didn't know they had it, So they pull everybody out of the car and they find them. And then they find like a sack of weed, that he had stuck up in a blanket where my child was laying. And thieves. Well, nobody claims them at all. Okay? Nobody claims them. And I am going ham on the side of the road because I know at that point who they are, everything. That got me a prison sentence. I went to prison for 3 years because of that.
Damn.
Him and my sister didn't get shit. They dismissed their case and everything. I got charged with every bit of it because it was my vehicle.
Yep.
So I go to jail for 8 months on a $56,000 bond. chemical endangerment charge. I lost my children because of that, everything. When I get out of jail, I do what I'm supposed to do. I get my kids back. And about 8 months of me being out of jail, I meet up with a guy that I used to mess with a long time ago. Here we go. Messed up with a guy, his name was Nick. And when we got together, like I said, I thought he was the best thing in the world.
Right.
He turned out to be the devil.
Sorry about that.
He was so, oh my God, he was horrible. So we got together and everything was good. And we were together for about a year, and he had a son named Landon. And so together we had 4 children. I got pregnant with my son Ashton, and I noticed like his controlling issues. Like he wouldn't let me be around my family. I had got on Suboxone at this time after I got out of jail, and stuff like that. He made me quit taking the Suboxone. He wouldn't, take me to the doctor. It was horrible. He was a narcissist from hell. Okay.
Yeah.
He was treating my children very badly. He would tell me if I left, he would kill me and my kids. So I was stuck. After I had our son Ashton, I had 5 boys. I was so tired all the time. He never helped me with them or anything. Yes, because he had a son.
That's a basketball team, girl.
Yes, he had a son. I had 4 children, so we had 5 all together, okay? And I went to my cousin's house one day, and he was like, I got Adderall, keep you up, keep you going. And I was like, okay, hell yeah. So I was taking Adderall on a daily. And one day I went to him, and he did not have any. He had meth. So I was introduced to meth for the first time. And I started doing it, and it was on from there. My whole life come crashing down on me. I did not realize how much stuff that I was creating, like a disaster behind me. But I was doing meth, with a couple people that I had knew. I was taking, you said this is no judgment free zone, so I'm just telling my story like it is. I would have my kids in the car, and I would go meet the dope man,
Yeah. Hey, we've all been there. We've taken our kids shoplifting before, used them for cover so that way we could put extra stuff in the buggy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we know, we understand.
Yeah. Like I was, taking them to meet the dope man, didn't care, going back to the house. I'd get them sit down. I'd go in the bathroom and I'd do my thing, Well, Nick ended up finding out about it because I was at a guy's house. I had picked up his girlfriend, and we had got pulled over, and she ended up going to jail and left all her stuff with me. Okay. And he was like the dope man. So he left all, like I said, all the stuff that she had, all the dope, everything. So I took it, you know what I mean? And I didn't think the guy would show up at my house, but he did. So he was like, I want to know where my shit is. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. The cops took it. And so that's how Nick had found out. Well, 2 nights after that, I was asleep and my phone was ringing, and it was the guy that I was just telling you about looking for his girlfriend. And Nick ended up beating me with a pistol that night. And the cops were called. So that was one strike with the cops. And, when I did the meth for the first time, it was like everything went away. You know what I mean? All my pain, everything went away. I was numbing it because it felt like everything that I had been masking down this whole time come to a surface. It come to a head. And it was like, bam, like I was doing the drugs because, I didn't deal with losing my daughter. Didn't deal with the trauma when I was younger. All that was just coming, you know what I mean? And I was just doing it. And so DHR was eventually called and my kids were taken from me. And, it's a scary, scary ride. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know, like I said, the disaster that you're creating behind all this. So my kids were taken from me, and it was so harder. It was much harder this time than it was the first time getting them back, because that drug had me so bad. You know what I mean?
Methamphetamine.
Yes, I felt like
Psychological, man. I'm telling you, it messes with your mind so bad. That's why. It's like opioids, they fucking suck and everything, and you get sick. But it's like meth makes you go lunatic. You know, like you're like a lunatic. You're crazy. You're off your rocker, dude. So I totally understand.
I felt like it had me so bad to where and I know this is bad, but to where I almost didn't want to. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel so guilty for saying that, but I'm just telling it like it is. Like that's how meth can have you. You know what I mean?
Right. And I know a lot of women who never get sober from meth and they lose their children forever
Yeah,
because that's how bad they have. Their minds are gone to the point where they believe that their kids are better off without them.
yeah,
Your
and,
child is never better off without their biological parent. You
right,
know, that's where they belong. They were made for you and you were made for them, you
right,
know. But they have gotten so far out there and you got so far out there that you start thinking, well, they're better off without me. I'm a piece of shit. I'm never going to be able to get them back. I'm not good enough. And that's just not true. You know, that's why I tell people. I had a lady call me today. Her daughter lost her child. 10-year-old little boy, hasn't had him in years. And I told her to not give up hope because her daughter has already done that.
yeah.
That's why she isn't fighting anymore, you know? So somebody's got to keep hope going for them, or for us, for them, for all of us, you know?
It is sad too because that's the way that I started to think. You know, and I met this guy. Well, I went with him like that, but I met him. He was like a big dope man, you know, and I was running it for him, you know, and I was like, hey, you know, free dope. So girl, when I tell you the hallucinations too, I was bad. Like listen, I ended up putting myself in jail one night because the guy that I was running for, he was a part of the Mexican mafia, okay? And my uncle was also, you know, doing it with him or whatever. Well, a bunch of his shit come up missing. Now, I know that I didn't take it, okay? But my uncle had left me at this dude's house, and I did not know the guy was paranoid schizophrenic, okay? Nobody failed to mention to tell me that. So I'm looking over at him and he's like doing this, you know, like with the earpiece, and I hear him say, Ashley's got it. Well, I'm like, okay, well, I know I did. Did I get it? You know what I'm saying? I know I wasn't that messed up out of my mind. So, like, girl, I was running and nobody was chasing me, but in my mind, they were chasing me. You know what I'm saying? I ended up in jail that night and everything because of that. It was bad.
I
And
know what you're saying. I've ran from people that were not chasing me also.
I went to jail several times. You know, I did months and months and months, and I ended up getting out in 2019. And I went and stayed with my cousin, and she is my best friend. Like we're each other's rock. You know, she is newly sober. She's been sober 7 months now. I'm very proud of her. But we keep each other. I don't know. I've been sober almost 3 years now, so like we keep each other in line, if that makes any sense. But anyway, at this time, I went and stayed with her, and you know, I told myself because I was dabbling in it that it was okay. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, I can just do it this one time and walk away, and I did for several times until I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I met this guy. Well, no, I'm sorry. I knew this guy for about 20 years, and his wife ended up leaving him. He hit me up, you know, and I was just being a friend to him because, you know, they had been together like 17 years. Okay. He was a little bit older than I am. I'm 36. I think he was like 45 or something like that. Well, the guy ended up becoming very obsessive. You know, I would tell him that we were just friends. You know, he would do things, and I'm like, look, you don't have to do this for me, you know, whatever, whatever. Well, at this point, when I met him, I was sober, you know, again. I done got off everything. And, you know, he told me, he was like, I'm helping you, you know, I'll help you stay sober, blah, blah, blah. Well, in my mind, I'm like, okay, you know, we can do this, that codependency thing, you know. But I would tell him, you know, I don't want nothing more, just this, we're just friends, you know. And he would be like, okay, but then he would mention something about it. This went on for months. And then one night, we were out dirt riding, and we had two friends with us, and they brought out some Coke. And I was like, man, you know, I can't do this. And it was there, so I did it. And we go back to the dude's house, and I ended up falling asleep. And when I woke up, the guy Dennis that I'm telling you about, had meth. He was like dangling over me, and he was like, "Hey, look what I got," and I'm like, "Oh my god," And so we ended up doing some, and it was just it was crazy. We did it for probably 9 months, every single day. My fiance now, I was going up to his house, and Dennis was really jealous over that. Like, he didn't like me to have any guy friends, just him. He was very, very excessive, and
I feel like methamphetamine makes men like mean
yeah,
and territorial and like possessive, kind of, because I see that so much with like men who are on meth and in relationships. They're like crazy about the person that they're in a relationship with, not to mention like all the things that they think that the person is doing that they're not really doing. You know what I mean?
Will you text my mom and let her know that I am on a call? Yeah. She just said, but yes, and that's how he was. Like, it made him very different, because the guy that I hung out with that lost his wife was not the guy that he come into, So we were like all hanging out, me, him, my fiance now, and all this stuff. And one night we had dropped my fiance off, and we were going back to Dennis's house. And listen to me, I have been up on meth for a week at a time and never blacked out. Okay, I have been on methadone and meth at the same time and never blacked out. On the only time I black out is Xanaxes. That's why I stay away from them. I do not like them. That's just how they do me. They make me black out. So, we were going down the road after we had dropped my fiance off. He wasn't my fiance at the time, but we were going down the road, and I was like, man, I am so thirsty. I was like, I've got to stop at the store. And he was like, here, just drink this. It was a Mountain Dew. So I turned it up and drank it. When I tell you that I don't remember anything, the next thing I remember was I woke up, I was in his bed, he was on top of me. And I was pushing him off of me, telling him to get off, and it was like I blacked out again. I don't know anything that happened. Next thing I come to, I was standing in his bedroom, putting my clothes on, asking him what's going on. I was crying, begging him to take me home, like, why did you do this to me? And the only thing he could say to me was, you wanted it. I thought you wanted it. And it was like I kind of blacked out again. And then we were going down the road, and he was taking me to my cousin's house because that's where I lived at the time. And I remember walking in there, and I just started bawling, and she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, he raped me, he raped me. And that's all I could say. And I'll tell you what, karma, though, is a bitch, because on his way home, he ended up losing control of his car and hitting a brick wall. It didn't kill him, but it totaled his car and it fucked him up. You know what I mean? And I was
like, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, but it's crazy because how to me, I'm one of those, and I'm working on it now. Something so bad can happen to me, like with what my stepdad did, or what this guy did to me, and I could still look them in the face and be okay. Yeah, it's weird, like, I guess I just mask it all down like it never happened, kind of. But that happened to him, and you think that would have got me sober, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying? It didn't get me sober. I still kept on running. I had several bad incidents where I could have died, just like everybody else in active addiction. Well, I was introduced to fentanyl right after that, and I cannot do heroin and fentanyl. When I do it, it doesn't matter how much it is. I end up overdosing on it. I was at this girl's house, and she was like, hey, I got, some fent. I was like, well, I was looking for meth, and she's like, well, just do this, it'll make you feel good. So I ended up doing it and overdosed in her bedroom. And thank God, she called 911 or whatever, but I did that several times, and when I ended up getting sober was shortly after that. I went to my mom's house, and my son was there, and I remember him saying, my two oldest sons come down, and they were like, Mama, you know, we want you to stay tonight. Please stay tonight, you know. And I would lie to them and tell them I would. They'd go to bed and I'd get up and I'd leave, you know, and they would wake up in the morning and I'm nowhere to be found. And my oldest son, he's 17 now. He told me, he said, Mom, he said, if you don't quit doing this, I will never have nothing else to do with you. You know, I love you and I want you to get sober. You know, and I don't know what happened, but that did something to me, man. And I ended up going up to my fiance now, his house, and me and him was sitting there and we were like, man, you know, this shit is it, you know, like it, we didn't even have really the desire to do it anymore. You know what I mean? Like it was gone. I'm sorry.
You're just using because that's like the habit that you've learned. That's literally like your lifestyle. So you're not using because you're like enjoying it anymore. It's just like a part of your life, you know, like muscle memory.
Yeah. So we were just kind of like, damn, you know, this is it. Well, we ended up going up to his mom's, and you know, because we were jumping around at this time, we still hadn't got all of our shit together, and we went up to his mom's house for a week, and you know, we kind of sobered up there, and then his mom, Chase's mom, is one of those who is an alcoholic, a raging alcoholic. You know, Chase didn't have a really good childhood with his mom, but that's his story. I'm just trying to give y'all the brief to y'all so y'all would know what happened. So we're up at his mom's for about a week, and she starts acting crazy. She gets drunk and she kicks us out. So with us having nowhere to go, I call that guy Dennis, and we go over to his house and we relapsed. And we were there for about a week, man. And then I called my mom and I begged her. I was like, please, you know, please just let us come up there. I can't do this anymore. You know, I'm done. And she was like, Ashley, you know, these kids are here and blah, 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 blah. Well, we had a little stick shift truck at the time. And I don't know. I guess hearing my mom say that did something. It was like, you know, well, fuck y'all. You know what I mean? And I kind of got in that mode again. And I ended up taking off that night without Chase. And I did so much meth, it almost caused me to have a heart attack. Like I could feel it in my chest. My chest was tightened really bad. I felt like I was going to die. And when I got that bad, I would like trip out on Chase a lot. Like I would tell him, you know, he's talking to other girls. Every little speaker, he's talking in it. So when I get home, that's how I'm doing him. Well, he is done sobered up. He's done went to bed and everything, you know. So I'm like, I know you're talking to somebody, and he's literally got like a Bluetooth speaker around his neck, you know, listening to music, and I hear a girl through it. So I made him strip butt naked in the yard, you know, to show me all this. It was crazy, girl. And he picked me up over his shoulders and he threw me in that truck. He said, if you don't go with me now, he was like, I am done. We're done, Ashley. You know, this has got to be it. And I was just like, fuck it, man. So I got in the truck and we ended up, you know, going to his boss's house, and we have been sober ever since. So I don't know what happened, you know, but it was like, I don't know. I can't tell you what happened. You know, I guess we were just tired.
You're tired of getting high. It happens. I feel like each person reaches a point. Some people don't, but a lot of people reach a point where it's like, okay, I'm an adult now. I have kids. I don't want to be away from my kids anymore. I done fucked up enough. Right. That's how it happened for me and my husband. Our son got taken away from us, and it was like, okay, we've been fucking up enough. We need to make a change now. You know what I mean? And so I totally get it. Like, you were tired of fucking your life up, and your oldest son was like, Mom, if you don't get better now, I'm never going to fucking talk to you again. And that's fucking hardcore for him to have to be like that with you. But you had to have a wake-up call.
Right. And, you know, I'm glad that I did, because when I went to prison, ended up going to prison, my kids, when they were taken away from me the second time, my kids went to their dad. And like I said, their dad's a raging alcoholic. Well, I thought this whole time they're safe. You know, nothing's going on. Well, when I got sober, I learned that my middle son, my second son, Caden, his dad was abusing him. He was throwing him around. He was beating on him, you know, and I'm thinking, this whole time I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, they're okay. But then they're telling me all this, and all I could do was cry and tell them I'm sorry. And Caden is still, he's 15 years old, and he is still working through that trauma. You know, we have him in counseling. but there is a lot. I don't know. I feel so guilty at times because I want to. I'm breaking that generational curse. You know what I'm saying? And I do not want my children to have to go through what I went through. You know,
Right.
but yeah, there was a lot of things that I had found out. You know, and I just, like I said, I feel so guilty for it, but I
It's
don't know.
mom guilt, dude. I don't know if it'll ever go away because
Yeah,
I have the same thing, okay? Like I've been sober for almost 8 years now and I still beat myself up on a daily for having my son taken away from me.
yeah,
And it's like, girl, that was 7 years ago,
yeah,
you know? And I
yeah,
think it's just the guilt that we carry with us in our heart because we know our potential and we know what we're capable of. And when we're not living up to that potential and being that person that we know that we can be and that mom that we know we can be,
hmm
it's hard to I can't make an excuse. You know,
right,
people tell me, Nicole, you were sick, you were in your addiction. Oh, yeah, I know, but I know that I knew better. My mom raised me better. You know what I mean? That's how I am to myself. And so I beat myself up about it all the time. I try not to, but
yeah.
it's so hard.
I know it is hard, and but today I have a relationship with my children. You know, they're back with me. We got, I don't know, it's almost like especially my oldest children, we're really close. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't keep nothing from my kids because
Me neither.
they were kind of old enough to realize, to know what was going on. And especially when my oldest came to me and was like, Mom, I know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like, whoa, okay. Because I thought this whole time, like, oh, they're kids, But let me tell you something. Kids know. They pick up
Oh
on stuff.
yeah.
They know, but since I got sober, I've been sober. December will be 3 years. And this is the longest I've ever stayed sober. I never thought I could do it, but I'm doing it, and it is like, I don't know if y'all believe in God who's on here, but I do.
Oh
And
yeah, I do too.
completely, completely like turned my life around. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I never thought my life could be this good. Because of the stuff that I went through. The traumas that I did go through. I thought I would always be stuck in that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I've been through a lot, but my past don't define me. I've learned that too. I am who I am today. But
Tell me some good things that happened to you when you got sober. Like, I don't know, paying off a car. Tell me about that.
oh, girl. So, okay, let me tell you. So, I was able to, I had like fines out the ass, okay, from getting in trouble. I actually paid one of them fines off. It was like $2,500,
That's a lot of money.
completely off. I do not have to worry about that anymore. That's gone. We got us a car. We own our own car. You know what I'm saying? We got us a place to live. Gosh, let's see. We just took a trip to the beach. You know what I mean? Like, I told Chase, even when we were there, I was like, look, if we were still in active addiction, we would not be here today. He was like, yeah.
No way. Yeah.
So there is good things that's happened to us, and I don't know. I know that I probably left some out because, like I said, it's my first time telling my story. But if I could just reach one person, and tell them and try to change their life, that's what my goal is, because
Yeah.
that shit's killing everybody today.
Do you feel like Suboxone helps with your methamphetamine addiction as well?
I do, and I know that's crazy. A lot of people say that it's not for that.
Right. I mean, I feel the same way. I feel like it has helped me with overall all my addictions to different, because I was like you, I was a trash can junkie. Give me
Yeah,
whatever you got, baby.
yeah,
And taking, like, I have like thoughts of using stimulants sometimes and like maybe sometimes Xanax, but nothing out of control that I can't like nip in the bud.
yeah. That same here. Yeah, I mean, like, see, like before, when I would get stressed out, or I would think the littlest, like, I'd go use. You know what I mean? But Suboxone, now that I'm on Suboxone, I can honestly say that I do have thoughts sometimes, like, okay, well, but then I'm right back, okay, no, you know what I'm saying? And it does help with my cravings a lot, not with just meth, but with the opiates, with the heroin, it does help a lot. So I know a lot of people say, well, that's not for, meth addiction, but well, I'm living proof that it does help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I
but yeah.
agree. It has helped me also. Do you, and this is just something I ask everybody that's on Suboxone, do you have any issues? Like, do people try to give you a hard time about being on it? Or does your family like totally support you? Like, how's it with that?
Yeah, my family does support me on it. My mother's on Suboxone as well. Like I said, she's been on it for a long time. She's been sober 15, almost 16 years now. So my family
Good for
does,
her.
like, I might, like if I'm talking, I went to this NA group one time, and I had said something about me being on Suboxone, and they was completely against it. Like they did not like it. They did not. It was like, well, you can use God for that. God to help you, God to take you away. And I do believe in God, but like
That shit pisses me off more than anything in the whole wide world.
so,
Don't put that shit on God.
yeah,
God
so
gave me brains to use
that.
too, motherfuckers. God gave us common sense. God made
Exactly.
scientists. God made doctors. God made technology. Okay.
Right.
And so he is giving us the common knowledge, the education to get the help that we need.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story about the
Can we
man
vape
who
on
was can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah. Can we
Okay.
vape on this? Or
Yeah, go ahead. Have you ever heard the story about the man who was stuck in the flood? And the police came by and they were like, hey, man, there's a flood. You need to come with us or else you're going to get stuck in the flood. Don't worry about it. God will save me. So the flood is so bad, he's on top of his roof. People are coming by on boats and they're like, hey, man, jump in the boat with us. No, don't worry. God will save me. Okay.
yeah.
I mean, people are like looking at this dude like, what the hell? God's not going to pluck you up out of the motherfucking, out of the sky and grab you off the fucking
Right.
roof. And he dies. He perishes in this flood because he sat there and he didn't use his common damn sense
Right.
and get inside the fucking, boat with somebody and get out of harm's way.
Right.
That's what it's like being on MAT. God is giving us this life raft and saying, here's MAT. This can help you in your journey. Okay. And take it or leave it.
Yeah. And another thing that I left out of my story, one of my best friends, one of my cousin's best friends, his name was Shane, and I had posted on my TikTok about him a few days ago, but he was like, man, when he would walk in a room, he was like, he lit the whole room up. He would make you laugh. Like he was such a beautiful soul. And last September, he was hanging out with my brother and them and my baby's dad, my second baby daddy. And they knew that he was doing fentanyl. And they walked out of a camper and locked it when they knew he had overdosed. Turned around, walked out, locked the camper, went up there and told my brother, hey, Shane's out there and he just overdosed. And he died from fentanyl. This shit is killing everybody. It is not like it was when me and you was on meth. You know what I mean?
Right.
We were getting meth. You know what I'm saying? Today, these kids and these people are getting fentanyl. It is killing everybody. But that being sober and having to deal with that pain was something else, because I am a type of person that I would mask my pain with drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now being sober, feeling everything, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And that takes us back to the Suboxone. Like I feel if it was not from Suboxone, I honestly couldn't do this. You know what I mean? Like
right.
My goal is to get off the Suboxone eventually. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm not ready. And I know there's a lot of controversy about being on Suboxone for 6-7 years, and stuff like that. But right now, I just feel like I'm not ready to get off of it. You know what I'm saying? But
I've been on Suboxone for 8 damn years. And I'll be damned if somebody tells me people don't know our circumstances. Okay.
Right.
Like, I don't know what it's like where you live. I don't know what your financial, economical status is. I don't know how many mouths you have to feed. I don't know what your mental health is like. I don't know what your family unit is like and how much support you have. So why am I going to interject myself into your recovery plan and tell you what's best for you? And that's what people do because they become so blinded by their own ego and their own like agenda of things that they want to like crusade around and
Yeah.
save people from themselves, you know? But it's like, I don't need no saving. Okay, honey, I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
living my best life.
Yeah. Girl, look rough on this thing.
No, you don't. You look good. You look fine.
But anyway,
I'm proud of you, though.
Huh?
I said, I'm proud of you. 3 years is a substantial amount of time to be sober.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Hell yeah. Especially with all the trauma that you've been through, especially with the abuse that you experienced at a young age. Like, I don't know if you have gotten into anything like that, like trauma therapy and like really real deal kind of shit. You should look into like trauma therapy, and then like, I don't know if you deal with depression or anything, but like I know people that are doing ketamine infusions and their depression is like lifting and they feel like human again, you know?
Yeah, I want to get in trauma therapy. I don't know what route to take about it, you know, because I know that I still have a lot of things to work on. But
we all have things to work on. Listen to me. Every single person who, look at me, I'm working on things. I still struggle so much. I mean, I think people think that when we get sober that we're going to reach like a magic finish line where we're going to be done and we're going to be healed and we're going to, but like every time I think that I'm done and I'm healed and I'm at the finish line, like something else in my life presents itself that I need to work on, you know?
Yes, every time. Yeah, you're right about that. So, but yes, ma'am. You know, like I said, I never thought that I would be able to get to where I'm at today, you know, and it's just been a long road, you know what I mean? But I did it, and I'm proud of myself. I have to tell myself every day, you know, because I was having like these really bad panic attacks when I first got sober, you know what I mean? Because the guy that did that to me that I thought was my friend, you know, like I told you about, you know, would like hit me up, you know what I'm saying? And I would go in and like, oh my God, you know, like leave me alone. I had to block him from everything. And then like he would go from a different number, like put a fake number or whatever and message me. And finally I had to change my number, you know, because it was getting bad. Like he was so upset, but it was scaring me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I saw him or heard from him though since I changed my number, thank God. But yeah, I've been through a lot of stuff, and I am trying to find the right trauma therapist, you know, that I can get in and talk to. I just don't know how I'm going about that route. So
there's all kinds of people you can find. Like you could do online teletherapy. Like it's so crazy how awesome it is nowadays, where you can find somebody and literally do it through like a Zoom call, so you don't have to like go into somebody's office every day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'll hook you up. There's just one lady I follow on YouTube, and she's like an addiction specialist, and she does like therapy and stuff. And she's like I don't know, she just seems like somebody that you could like share things with that are personal and not feel looked down upon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
I feel like a lot of our problems is like we're afraid to share about stuff like that because we think about people judging us. We think people are going to look down on us, but actually it's quite the contrary. You sharing about your abuse and your experiences, there's women and men too who are in here right now who are going, well, actually was able to share about that horrendous experience in her life. Maybe I can do the same thing and get help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That does make sense.
You're doing awesome, Ashley. Tell me about your social media. Tell everybody about your social media accounts. Where can they follow you at? And what do you do? Are you trying to grow your accounts? Tell us about that.
Yes, ma'am. I am trying to grow my account. I was locked out of my first one. I don't have much, but I had like 3,000 followers. And so I had to create a new one, but it's under Sober But Savage. It's sober _but _savage. And yeah, you can follow me there or on Instagram under the same thing. So,
and you're sharing your story online, right?
So yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me. Let me see. I'm gonna get your account pulled up. Hold on. so that way I can show it to people. I love helping people build their accounts, so you can message me and I can help you with some really badass ideas too.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Oh, okay. You got 2 accounts. Follow. There we go. So she got 2 accounts, a backup and a regular account, and I'm going to show them. I think this is your biggest account right here. Yeah. So y'all, this is Ashley's TikTok account. If you guys want to follow her, I'll link it, of course, Ashley, in this video. I'll link it so everybody will be able to find you easier. But this is her TikTok account. Let's go find her Instagram now too.
Yeah, thank you.
Here we go. Sober. But do you follow me on Instagram or no?
I believe so.
Accounts. Is it Sober But Savage on Instagram?
You can go Sober But Savage, or if it's not Sober But Savage, it's Ashton Chase Livingston. But I got Sober But Savage underneath it, so you should be able to find it.
Ashley. You said
I'm
K?
sorry. I'm trying to plug my phone up so it don't die on us. But
no, you're okay.
Yeah. Ash and Chase Livingston.
And Chase. Okay, I got you. I want to show everybody. So hold on just a second. Okay. And Chase is sober too, right? Oh shit! Can you not hear me? Is that me making that weird sound, you guys? Oh, now it's better. Oh well. If she comes back, I'll bring her back on. Let me find her account because I want to show it to y'all on Instagram. Okay. Ashley Chase. Well, I can't bring it up for some reason. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. You saw her account over on TikTok. What did you guys think about Ashley? She's pretty cool, huh? She's down to earth. She's just like regular like us. And listen to me, you guys, like when you come on my channel to share your story, please don't ever feel like anybody is going to make fun of you or anybody is going to judge you or say anything out of line. Like I will make sure that that does not happen. I will do everything in my power to make sure that no one ever disrespects you if you come on here and you share your story. Okay. Hey, Jessica. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on 3 days sober, babe. That's amazing. That's fucking badass. I mean, like recovery's okay. It's difficult enough to like get the guts and the fucking determination to get sober. It's like we don't need our own peers giving us fucking shit. You know what I mean? So I just want you guys to know that you don't ever have to worry about that. And I'm really grateful that Ashley came on and shared about the experiences that she had and the abuse that she's been through, because I know a lot of you guys can relate to her experiences, and it makes me sad because you know, I know her and her mom are back, you know, talking together and everything, but this is a message to parents out there. When your child comes to you and tells you that they're being abused, believe them. Don't ever tell your child that you don't believe them. Okay? Even if it's the hardest thing for you to believe in the whole wide world, just listen to what they say and take what they say and actually take action. I cannot tell you guys how many people have come on this channel. Hey, Catherine, thank you for coming and letting us know. So her phone died. That's okay, though, but thank you. I cannot tell you how many people come on this channel and tell me that, you know, when they were younger, they were being abused. It could be verbally, emotionally, physically, sexually, whatever. And no one believed them, you know. I was sexually molested when I was a young girl, and I was too afraid to tell my parents. So I never told them. I kept it a secret, and I didn't tell my mom until I was like 14 years old. And y'all listen to the story real fast. Hey, Chase. Oh, hey, Ashley, that's you. What's up, girl? Thank you for coming in here. There's Ashley and Chase's YouTube channel too, you guys, right there, if y'all want to subscribe to their YouTube channel. So I'm glad you're in here, girl. When I was younger, I went to California to see my grandma. Me and my sisters did. My grandpa on my mom's side, her dad came and kidnapped me, my mom, and my 2 little sisters. And we went to California. Well, my grandmother had a helper, and his name was Alfred. I'll never forget this dude. His name was Alfred. He was like Hispanic and Asian mixed. He had very straight black hair with bangs like this, and he was skinny and he was tall, probably like 6 foot. And I was like 7. Pigtails, long black hair, pigtails, and I wore dresses because we were Pentecostal and we were not allowed to wear pants. So he was my grandmother's helper. He would go shopping for her, you know, do odds and ends, mow the lawn, that kind of thing. Well, we were outside playing hide and go seek one day, and he came underneath the truck where I was hiding in my grandpa's garage and like touched me inappropriately. And I remember being frozen with fear, thinking, oh my God, it's my fault. I'm in trouble, right? And I didn't say anything for, like I said, 7 years or something until I was 14. I finally told my mom because we had a picture in our kitchen. It was a family picture, and that motherfucker was right there in the front of that picture. And I had to look at that piece of shit all the time in our fucking kitchen. And I told my mom, that's the guy right there. She's like, oh my God, all these years that picture has been here and you didn't tell me, you know? So talk to your kids. And when they tell you something and they tell you they're being abused, listen to what they say. Don't fucking disregard them. You know, children are so important. They're like the future, you know? So I'm proud of you, Ashley. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us tonight. I'm going to link all of Ashley's social medias in the comment section of this video and over on my Facebook account also with the video also. So if you guys want to follow Ashley, you can on TikTok right now. She's sober_but_savage. And Ashley, we love you. You're so fucking strong and we're so proud of you, girl. Congratulations on your 3 years sober. And you and your man better stay sober or else we're coming to kick your ass. So we love you guys and I'll see y'all later. I'm going to get this video up and send it over to Ashley so that way she can share it with her friends. Okay, you guys? All right. Love y'all.